Hi, I'm Jim Sinacropi, and welcome to another episode of the FL1 Sports Podcast on FingerLakes1.com, where we highlight local athletes, teams, and events from all levels and types of competitive sports throughout the Finger Lakes region. And today we're going to turn the spotlight on the Weedsport Warriors varsity girls basketball program, who are enjoying a season that currently has them at 13-1 and atop the OHSL Patriot National League standings, and in fact, the best record in the entire OHSL Conference of Section 3. They're currently ranked in the state Class C top 10, and so we have two guests from that great program. First, our first guest recently scored 43 points against Little Falls to set the all-time single-game scoring mark in her school's history. I'm happy to welcome Weedsport Junior, Susie Nemec. Hi, Susie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And also, since 2007, he's been at the helm of the Ladies Warriors program. Just last week, recording his 200th career win, Coach Chris Vargason. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, Coach, I want to start with you. First of all, congratulations on 200 wins. That's a great accomplishment.
Thank you.
It's those big round numbers certainly help you reflect, and I'm sure you've reflected on the last decade of teams and players that have played under you. And can you start by just kind of reflecting with us a little bit on the last 10 years?
Well, over the last 10 years, I know that when I got to 200 and they announced it, all those players that I've coached in the past kind of came through my head a little bit, you know, and I started naming off of some of those kids in my head, and I think I probably named every single one of them, and I'm really proud of each and every one of them, and I wouldn't be here with 200 wins if it wasn't for them.
Sure. And, of course, you're having a great season this year. Aspirations for a sectional title, I'm sure, and a lot of that can be contributed to Susie. Can you just tell us a little bit about Susie and her game and what type of teammate she is?
Susie's a very, very good teammate, and over the last 2 years, Susie has come off the bench for us, and this year she's taken on that starter role. And the thing that Susie does is she will do whatever it takes for this team to be successful. If it's score 43 points, she'll score 43. If they're playing a box and one and she needs to get 18 points and 10 boards and 5 assists, she'll do that for the benefit of the overall success of this basketball team.
So the type of player any coach would love to have on the team.
Yep, and I'm so glad that she's coaching or under me at Weedsport.
Well,
she's
Susie,
a joy to have.
43 points in that game at Little Falls. Were you in the zone? What's it like to be in the zone like that?
Well, recently I haven't really had big games. I mean, I've been scoring and averaging around 25, but just being in that gym and getting to the foul line a lot, like I had 21 free throws in that game.
Wow. And
just being able to finish and having fun when I was playing too, that really put my head to that game.
Well, it's sure fun when you're scoring 42.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun for sure. So you were a first-team OHSL selection last year as a sophomore on a team that lost a really close game to Cooperstown in the Class C semifinals. How did that experience as a sophomore kind of help prepare you for this season?
Well, knowing that we had 8 seniors graduated and one of them was my sister, it was kind of just, I knew I had to step up. So after losing that, it really hurt me that, oh my gosh, I'm never going to play with these people again.
Yeah.
But now that I'm playing with different girls, I'm really into it that we can win this year, we can win it next year.
So now that you are an upperclassman and your third year varsity, right? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like this is your team and you're a leader of this team, or are you still deferring to the seniors a little bit? Like, how does that feel now that you're one of the upperclassmen?
Yeah, I definitely feel like a leader now, and I got to thank Mr. Young. He's put me through some of the leadership programs, and
wow.
It was just developed me to speak up, and I really came out of my shell this year because I was kind of hiding for the past couple of years.
Well, I think, as most high school students, they're underclassmen years of freshman and sophomore, it does take a little bit. That's really formative years. And so has just athletics in general helped you mature?
Oh, definitely. And especially my siblings, how when they come and help me work out, they really push me. And sometimes, like, I got to get knocked down to really...
Well, we were talking before the show. You come from a big family, and you're the youngest of, let's see, you have twin brothers?
Yep.
And an older sister and an older brother as well.
And another older sister.
And another one. So,
yeah.
And you're the youngest. And generally when that happens, the youngest really is, you're going out to play, whether it's pickup in the yard, but you're going up against bigger, stronger kids, and they usually have no mercy for their younger sibling. Do you feel like that's helped you athletically as well?
Definitely. One night, my brother actually, my oldest brother, he made me stay outside for hours just so I could make a whole bunch of shots in a row. And if I didn't, then we weren't leaving the court. And
so how much older? Much older is your oldest brother?
He's a senior in college right now.
Okay, so you're all fairly close then for such a big family. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming they really root for you, so it must feel good just to have so many like fans that really care like that. And you play a ton of basketball. You work on your game, and from what everyone's told me, you have a great attitude during your games. Is basketball your favorite sport?
Yeah.
But you do play field hockey and run track, right? Mm-hmm. So field hockey last year, were you on the freshman team that won the sectionals for Weedsport?
Yep.
Field hockey team. So you're a sectional champion.
Yep.
Probably would like to win one for basketball too.
Definitely.
And track and field, what events in track and field do you run?
I do the 100 and 200, but I mainly throw, like shot and disc.
Put?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Discus is my main. I went to state quals last year. So.
Oh, no kidding. So have you set goals for that for this coming season?
It's mainly just to get ready. Like when I run, it's mainly to get ready for other sports I'm doing because obviously I play AAU, and that's early July, so running really helps me stay in shape.
So you mentioned AAU. What's the name of this team?
City Rocks.
City Rocks, okay. Yeah. And is this your first year with City Rocks, or you've been with them for a little while?
I started with them as a freshman later in the year because I started with the Bells before that, the Philadelphia Bells. Mm-hmm. And I've just gone back and forth with a whole bunch of teams, and I played with the Royals, and then I've played extra tournaments with people, but City Rocks, I've really gone to like Kentucky, and I've traveled far.
So you're looking to play whenever you can, pretty much.
Yeah.
And just a lot of our viewers, I think, don't know much about AAU, but essentially, you're practicing with a group of what amounts to be an all-star team usually from other area schools, and then you go and play, tournament after tournament all over the state, or as you mentioned, even the country.
Yeah.
What about AAU, number one, do you like the most? And number two, you think helps you the most?
Well, definitely meeting these new people that I've never played with. City Rocks, that was definitely the closest team I've ever been with. And we actually got a house in Kentucky, and we did everything together. But AAU really developed me as a player because I've always played up. So when I was a freshman, I was playing for the 17U team. Okay. And they're just a lot bigger and stronger than me. So that really made me think, I want to be like them. And that pushed me to be like that. Yeah,
you get to play with better and older players. That certainly will help anyone get better. Coach, are you fond of the AAU programs? Like, that these kids are getting trained in the off-season? I've heard positive and negatives from coaches and parents about AAU. And in my own personal experience of my daughter playing now, I've seen positive and negatives. What's your general thought on AAU?
I have positive and negative thoughts on it as well. Today, everyone's playing AAU to get better, and I think the thing is that let's go play AAU to play more games, but and I think on a negative end that I see, kids need rest at some point in time. They're going, and especially our kids, they have so much going on, not only in sports, but their school play and musical, and they have so many activities going on that every once in a while you got to just step back and take a little bit of a break and a breather. But
I also thought it's kind of interesting how when I was younger, maybe it was the same with you. We would just go down to the rec center on Saturday and play basketball all day.
Yep.
Now we go to one of these AU tournaments and you might play 4 games, but you're there for 7-8 hours, and so you're doing a lot of sitting around, not actually playing. But Susie, do you come up against some of your teammates in the course of the regular season in high school, or are they playing for different size schools?
Yeah, they're more like Albany area, not really anywhere near me. But when I played for the Bacani team, they're like Class A schools, but I watch them play all the time. So.
Sure. Okay. So, Coach, you live in Cato, and there's a lot of connections that a coaching tree, family tree. First of all, your son is the Cato boys varsity basketball coach.
That's correct.
So who do you root for when Weedsport plays Cato?
Well, that's interesting because I have John Scarlotta that was my JV girls basketball coach for 6 years, and my son. There's often times where I have conversations with both of them, either through text messages or phones. They're always asking me things. What would I do? What do I think of this situation? I kind of sit in the middle, or I sit way in the back up at the very top, and I want both programs to be successful. Mm-hmm. And I have a grandson that plays for Cato, so when they're playing Weedsport, I kind of just sit in the middle.
So that's actually kind of cool. So you have a grandson now playing sports, and being a grandparent, I'm told, is just another level. Being a parent's one thing, but it seems like being a grandparent, that's the sweet spot. That's the fun thing. What's it like watching your grandchild play, and how involved are you in their development as a grandparent?
Well, often I give them advice, as a grandfather, because they know basketball, or a lot of times my daughter will say to me, "What'd Grandpa say?" Did Grandpa say he was at the game tonight? What'd Grandpa say about, how I played or whatever? So, I'm always giving them feedback on stuff.
It's good to know that he respects your opinion, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
So you're a Weedsport Athletic Director, Zach Young, friend of mine. I was prepping for this interview. He said Coach Vargason is a high school basketball junkie. He'll be in the gym almost every night watching a game. What is it about high school basketball that you love so much?
I don't know if I can put one thing, my finger on it. I just love watching kids. They're real, they all want to win. They try their hardest, and they're for just the love of the game. And so I enjoy watching any high school basketball game that I can watch. I was at Moravia just this Friday night watching them play Newfield. I wanted to go down and watch it, Section 4, to go to watch Newfield play in Moravia. So I drove down there and watched them. There was nothing else going on. So
it's cheap entertainment, that's for sure.
It is. For a couple of bucks, you get a hot dog and something to drink, and it's a great time. I just love it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think it's an awesome spectator sport, and it's the middle of winter up here where there's not much else to do. Might as well get out to a gym and watch a game.
And if you look at it in the way I look at it, in another probably 6 or 8 weeks, it's going to be over with for another season, and you have to sit and wait until November, December rolls around again before you can get back into the gymnasium.
But at least the weather's nice.
Yeah, that's correct.
Same question to you, Susie. You mentioned basketball is your favorite sport. How come? What is it about basketball you like more than the other sports?
Definitely the aggressive end. Just being pushed all the time I find it fun, and I don't know, being able to look up to like WNBA players and college players, it just makes me think, oh, I want to be like them. And I have a lot of leaders that play upper class.
So you would be interested in playing basketball in college above, even if, what if you had a chance to play field hockey or basketball, you choose basketball?
Well, it really depends what scholarship, like better scholarship, and also the better school for what I want to do.
So let's talk about that real quick. Actually, I'm going to hold off on that one question. I want to ask you about what you want to do because it's kind of interesting. But evaluate yourself. So you want to play college basketball, and right now you're a junior, and you've obviously improved every year that you've played. What do you need to work on, in your view, to get to be a better player than you are now?
Definitely getting stronger to the basket, and I can't really help anything with my height,
Sure.
but like when I shoot threes, I know that I have to go in and rebound instantly because our team isn't really that tall, so I really have to be an all-around player now.
Okay. So now back to college and your career. Now you do at Weedsport, you go to BOCES in the afternoon for kind of a unique program. What is it you're studying there in the afternoons?
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice. Yeah. And so tell me a little bit about what that entails.
We're really working on like how to become a police officer, and it just develops you into more adult life. And I would want to be a detective when I'm older, so I have to go through like being a state trooper and going through all that. But it's so much fun to be around those people, and when we talk about cases and stuff, it's just, we spend the whole class like 2 hours of just talking about, oh, how did this person die, or what happened to them, and it's just, we really get into it, and it's a lot of fun.
So that's pretty cool that you found something that really interests you that much that you're willing to. You almost get a head start when you have that epiphany at a young age of what you want to do. So congratulations on that. So usually when we have student athletes in here, we do a segment of Quickfire Questions. So I just ask you the question, you give me the first thing that pops into your head. And we're going to include Coach in here as well. Usually these are questions for student athletes, but so we're going to hit him with some quick-fire questions too. So first thing I'll start out with is, Susie, what's your favorite place to eat at in Weedsport, or just somewhere you and your family might go eat?
Probably Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
Yeah. Or like Moe's, somewhere Mexican food.
So what's your favorite thing at Taco Bell?
A chicken quesadilla.
Chicken quesadilla. How about you, Coach? Taco Bell as well? Favorite?
No, I've never been to Taco Bell ever. Mine would be probably Applebee's in Auburn.
Applebee's in Auburn? Okay. And I'll keep it with you. What's your favorite sports movie?
Hoosiers.
Yeah, I 50-50 chance I figured you'd say Hoosiers. How about you, Susie? Got a favorite sports movie?
Probably Space Jam.
It's amazing how many people say that. It really is.
Space Jam.
It really
we just
is.
recently watched that.
Susie, name the toughest opponent you've faced this season.
Like that school?
Individual, if you can. Like someone that you had to guard or guarded you.
Probably like Ava Mills from Port Byron.
Byron?
Yeah.
Okay. And how about you, Coach? Is a game plan, when you're looking ahead, game plan, what's the one player outside of any of your players that would stand out is really scares you a little bit?
Well,
or you can name a couple if you wanted to.
Well, there's some girls from Onondaga, the Oriole girl and the Baker girl. They kind of scare me a little bit. We have to game plan for them and make sure that we know where they are on the floor at all times.
Okay. Susie, favorite breakfast cereal?
She loves cereal.
Yeah, I do. Probably.
Well, let's do it this way. Give me your top three if you're a breakfast cereal lover. If you could only have three for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Honey Bunches of Oats. Probably like the cinnamon square.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Yeah, that's what it's called. And like Cocoa Puffs.
So two of those three, the first two you mentioned are also in my cupboard. I like those as well. I have Frosted Flakes, though, and Cheerios, and I don't have the Cocoa Puffs. So if you're stranded on a desert island with only one person, who would it be?
Probably my sister Libby.
Libby?
Yeah.
You have two sisters, right?
Yep.
Okay. She's older?
She just graduated from high school.
So she was your teammate last year?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Coach, I'll ask you the same question, but you better say you probably better say your wife, right?
My wife, yes.
Android or iPhone, Coach?
I have an iPhone.
Okay, how about you, Susie? iPhone, yeah. All of us kids have iPhones, no doubt. We kind of touched on this earlier, but weakest part of your game?
Out of everything, probably like my 3-point shot.
3-point shooting,
yeah.
Long distance shooting.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Coach? Or I mean, even LeBron James has the weakest point of his game, so it's not criticism. every player has their strengths and weaknesses.
I don't know if I would say that that's her weakest part of the game. I think just attacking the basket really strong and finishing strong. I think she's a good three-point shooter, and if you leave her alone, that in transition she can knock a three down. And finishing at the rim really strong. Because when you're taking the ball as hard as you can, and everybody's coming in behind you, it's concentration and it's finishing and eyes up.
Yeah, there's not many girls or boys high school basketball players that are really good at that.
Well, the boys level, if you can get up and flush at home, it's okay.
Well,
but the girls level, you can't. So it's concentration, and there's always that nerve-wracking that someone's coming behind you that's going to follow you really hard.
Yeah.
So that's always in the back of your mind too.
So, Coach, who do you like in the Super Bowl, Chiefs or 49ers?
I'd like to see the Chiefs win, but I think the 49ers will.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's my friends were texting as San Francisco was running away with the game last night. We were wondering what the line would be on the game, and we guessed, I think most of everybody was saying 49ers. I think I guessed 49ers minus 1.5, but it opened up at 1.5 underdogs for the Niners. So
really?
Yeah, which I was kind of surprised, but it'll probably move a lot. How about you, Susie? Chiefs or 49ers in the Super Bowl?
Probably 49ers, because I liked them when I was like a little kid and I didn't really know who they were, but ever since I've been watching NFL, they've really been my team.
The 49ers are your team, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, how about favorite college basketball team?
College?
Girls or boys?
Probably, I gotta go with Ohio State. Or
oh, really? Wow. Syracuse is
Mom's
about
listening.
But I think one of the better girls basketball team is definitely Oregon.
Oh, yeah. And then you have Syracuse just a few miles up the road from you, remember. Okay. If you had, what sports do you like watching on TV?
Well, probably basketball, because that's the most eventful. And sometimes football, but sometimes I don't really know what's going on, so I'm just...
Do you watch any WNBA in the summer?
Not really. I've watched a couple games, but I definitely think college is more fun to watch. Yep,
I agree. So what does an average Friday night look like for you nowadays? What do? Do you get together with friends? You stay at home? What's an average Friday night look like?
I'm usually with my friends, and if I'm not, then I'm just staying at home and probably sleeping. So.
Okay, well, nothing wrong with that. Like you said, you play a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
So, a lot of AAU. How about you, Coach? Average Friday night when you're not in a high school gym?
Average Friday night, if the house is quiet, I would probably put on some type of film that in the past that we've played and just sit and relax. And
okay,
watch
wow.
that.
So you really are a high school basketball junkie for sure. And you mentioned you watch some of the games that we webcast here at Finger Lakes 1.
I watch lots of games that you webcast here. And I try to be in a gym at least every night of the week that I can.
Well, it's nothing wrong with that for sure. Real quick, too, here, in Section 5, sectionals kind of culminate at the Blue Cross Arena for those games. And I know that you pay attention to what goes on in Section 5 a little bit, but what, in your estimation, are some of the differences between Section 3 and Section 5?
That's a good question, because I have studied all of this a little bit, and I think from Section 5, there's been so many state championship teams that have come out of 5 over the years. South Seneca's been in there, and there's been several teams, and if you look at them, I think that every single night in C's in Section 5, they've got to come to play,
right?
No matter who they're playing. A 6-point game in Section 5 may be, that's a runaway. And Section 3, I think there's a lot of teams. There's more
disparity.
Yeah, where we just, I think it's coming and it's starting to come around there. In B's in Section 3, they've got to battle every night. You have the West Hills playing, the Grimes and the Marcelluses, and so they have to battle. So I think it prepares you later on down the road for the sectional and state runs. And
now, speaking of state runs, have you ever gone up to Hudson Valley for the girls' Final Four?
I said I was never going to Hudson Valley unless it was on a bus.
Oh, there you go. Well, you could rent a Greyhound, or you could take a Weedsport school bus with your team. That's what you're waiting for, probably, right?
That's what I'm waiting for. But as you look at the gray hair in my head, the window is closing. I'd like to take a ride out. I may go out this year.
It's a lot of fun for a lot of different reasons. I think it's a great venue up there. They do a pretty good job. Have you ever gone, Susie?
Yeah, I've played an AAU tournament up there. So.
But you've never gone to the actual New York State high school Final Four?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll
hopefully.
I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, but you guys got a good team and a good shot this year for sure. But one step at a time, get by semifinals and into the finals. And is Cooperstown another potential opponent you might meet? Are they strong again this year?
Yes, very strong.
And that's a big section too. Cooperstown is 4 hours away, about.
Yeah, three plus. But Cooperstown's a very, very good basketball program. They always have been, and we kind of look forward to actually wanting to get paired up and play them.
Yeah.
And,
yep.
Yeah, so we look forward to Cooperstown. They know us. We know them.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming in. It's great to get to talk to you. Susie, we talked to you after your game at South Seneca earlier this year, and that was kind of our first experience. And I think you are a great player, obviously, and seem to have a great head on your shoulder and a great attitude. So I wish you nothing but success, going forward. And before I let you go, is there anybody you want to, give a shout out who maybe supported you through the years?
Definitely my parents for paying for what I've been doing and transporting me everywhere, and my family for pushing me, and my team, and especially my coach. He's gotten me through so much.
Okay, that's great. And Coach, how about you? We're running a high school basketball program, a successful one is more, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Is there anyone that you want to thank?
I think that we have to give a big shout out to our superintendent of the school district. He has taken the youth program and developed a lot of these kids with the parents on through. And at Weedsport, we're very fortunate to have 2 modified coaches in place that have varsity and JV experience, both boys and girls, that are teaching our youth. And I've had 3 wonderful JV coaches along the way. And not to leave out my family. My family has done a tremendous job to allow me to time and freedom to do this. So big shout out to them.
Thank you for coming in, and congratulations on 200, and maybe we'll have you back when you hit 300.
I would love that.
And Susie, thanks again. Appreciate you coming in today on your day off from school. So thanks for everyone for joining us for this edition of the FL1 Sports Podcast. You can reach out to the show by sending an email to contact@fingerlakes1.com. For all our latest headlines and local content on the fingerlakes1.com local network, visit our homepage, download our free Android or iPhone app, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and look for us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts online. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you next time.